Sutherland here. I am coming to you from the 2023 NHAA Naturopathic Symposium, and boy, is it fantastic to be having everyone in the room. I also have with us in the room Professor Jon Wardle, who is the Director of the National Centre for Naturopathic Medicine up in Lismore. Now, I've got to say, I'm pretty blown away by what the centre is doing. But for those people that don't know about the centre, tell us about it.
Yeah, sure, Emma. Thanks. Look, we're pretty blown away. I guess that's tooting our own trumpet a bit much, but pretty excited about what we're doing as well. So I guess, the reason we are the National Centre for Naturopathic Medicine is, everything that we do at the centre is not just about education. It's not just about research. Advocacy is actually the third arm of that. And actually, it's one thing to have these graduates that go out and do amazing things, but we need to find places to put them, and we need to get them in places where they're not going at the moment. So we've had some incredible success. It's one of the great things about working at a university, those connections the university already has with the local health districts. We're looking at projects of embedding, naturopathic clinics into residential aged care facilities, Australia's largest veterans care, clinic, drug and alcohol rehabilitation services, as well as our own, clinical facilities on Gold Coast and Lismore. We've had an incredible work. Lismore had a lot of issues with in the last year, obviously, with the floods. That has actually created some real opportunities as well. So we've got a lot of partnerships we wouldn't have had otherwise. The role of naturopaths actually being involved in disaster recovery. There's a poster here from one of our students actually being presented here on that. And yeah, just really excited about not just, training great naturopaths, doing great research in naturopathy, but actually, getting a greater role for naturopathy in Australia and globally as well.
Because I know your background's public health, so you come from that background of being able to understand the greater health system. So it's so great to have your expertise in that space. And we've spoken to a few of your PhD students. They're crackers. They're smart, those people.
We know naturopaths are good people, so naturopaths are smart people. And I think the real thing we want to get across, with naturopathy, it's not just lotions and potions like a lot of people might think about. That's a good part of it, so not to denigrate that. But, we've, everything from going back to basics with food as medicine, traditional knowledge is one of our, key aims. So we've got, Alana Gore, this incredible Pakana woman from Tasmania doing work on Indigenous Australian medicine and frameworks for domains of wellbeing, which actually fit really well into naturopathic medicine. Peter, who's not here as well, Peter James, who is doing the same in traditional African medicine with Roy Chahaka. A lot of these things that people might not think of as being naturopathic, but, you mentioned I'm a professor of public health as well. To me, public health perspectives and naturopathic perspectives have been, almost one and the same. We're all about prevention. We're all about, treating the body as a complex, or the world as a complex adaptive system. It's about holism, and naturopathy does that in a clinical practice. So I always talk about naturopathy being a translational profession that translates everything that public health wants to do, but actually in a clinical setting. So we've had some incredible students, and our new clinical training program is starting this year as well, or has started this year. We've got just over 100 students in that first year already. We've got an incredible pipeline coming through. Getting those other perspectives in. We've got not just Australia's but the world's first graduate entry naturopathic program. So, we've had pharmacists, nurses, but also things like nutritionists and herbalists that want to sort of, take that next step into the therapeutic toolkit as well. And look, just being at the university, there are some things you can do at a university that, I've found you just can't do in other places. And there's some things you can do at a university that has a naturopathic department that you can't do in other universities that don't have that. So, we've managed to get, subsidies for, all of our programs in naturopathic medicine, integrative medicine, lifestyle medicine, which means, it's a much more cost-effective option, and students can actually focus on building their business rather than repaying their debt. We've had, we've had over $4 million in starting in clinical trial work that we've been able to do because those facilities are already there. We've got the incredible herb garden that we're using for our students, but also, we had Stephanie Alexander Kitchen Garden Foundation come to see us last week. We're working with the local schools about actually making that a teaching and learning space, and, getting people excited about herbal medicine and, some of those naturopathic concepts and food as medicine from a really, really young age.
Well, it sounds like you're able to really leverage what the university has in place that really helps the centre. And I know there's advocacy, there's research, but then there's also training. So what I would say is that, if anyone is looking to upskill and thinking about doing a master's or a PhD, the National Centre for Naturopathic Medicine sounds like it's a really, really solid option.
Thanks, Emma. And look, not just for people willing to upskill. Some people I know here aren't naturopaths, and if you are looking to jump into the naturopathic pool, like, we've got a lot of options there. It's a great place to study, and I think one of the things that we really like about being in a university that has other health professions as well. We're integrating with nurses every day. We're integrating with medical practitioners, physiotherapists, osteopaths. It's just a really great environment. I find it's one that's really great and experimental, and it just sort of fosters innovation in a way that, look, to be really frank, when I accepted this role in 2020, I probably didn't think was possible. So I think, it's testament to the naturopathic profession for investing in the centre as much as it has, sort of emotionally and all the support that it's been given. But look, it's just a profession that needed, I think, the sort of deserves, the best centre that we can actually have, and that's really what we're trying to become. And just really, even if you don't want to study, even if you don't want to research, we'd just really love to hear from the profession and the community about how we can do things better, because we are a centre for naturopaths, and we want to really live up to that name.
Yeah, well, I am super excited about the National Centre for Naturopathic Medicine. If anyone wants to find out more, and I encourage you to go and sign up for the newsletter, get involved, where can they find you?
So we have a really long and confusing URL, but if you type in scu.edu.au/NTNM, it will redirect you to that very long and confusing URL. So a much easier way to get to a much harder place. Yeah, thanks.
Awesome. All right. Thanks so much for joining us today, Jon.